This is the TJ Evans Show, and here's my uncle, TJ Evans.
Thank you for joining us on the TJ Evans Show. I'm your host, TJ Evans, and this is brought to you by Royal Family Studios. So please remember to do the YouTube thing and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. So let's go ahead and get into current events that's happening, in the last couple weeks. What's been going on? Well, let's start with music, more specifically hip-hop music. Artist DaBaby got into a little situation, and it begs me to ask the question, is rap violent? Apparently that was his baby mother's brother who started the altercation, so he probably shouldn't have messed with this man while he was at work. And everyone, please leave DaBaby alone because he's like 15 and old, so there's no reason to get into a situation. Now, I would talk about Black Lives Matter and, the whole scandal that they've been getting into where states are now investigating the funds that they've been raising since, all the riots and stuff, but nobody cares about that. Even though the founders of Black Lives Matter have been buying up real estate, millions of dollars, and they're still taking donations, but who cares? Let's talk about the Olympics. The Olympics. We decided to participate in this year's Olympics that's being held in China. China, the place where they still have literal slaves. But nobody cares about that. China is making money, and apparently Joe Biden and his family has a lot of business ties with China. And since Joe Biden is now the president of the United States, it's very important that we show face. So we're showing face, and China is cheating. But let's not get into big details about that. Let's talk about sports that matters, which is football. Football just had its biggest game of the year, which is the Super Bowl, the best in each division. The NFC versus the AFC. And who we have for the NFC, the LA Rams versus the AFC's Cincinnati Bengals. And LA managed to pull it off. They won. The city of tents, and the city that looks like it's just been going through a lot of turmoil since Democrats have taken over and just ran it into the ground for the last, 40 years. But nobody cares about that. At least they won the Super Bowl. Good job, LA, for this championship. And it was a star-studded event. Everybody came out. People like Jay-Z, people like LeBron, people like Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Emmitt Smith. And the funny thing is, these people decided not to wear a mask.
Who do we got here? We got Jay-Z, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron is here, LeBron, Jennifer and Ben, Emmitt Smith.
There you go. There's my kind of celebrity.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Of course, there's an all-time celebrity row here tonight for Super Bowl 56. Andy Garcia, Chris Tucker, taking it all in. Get those pictures.
Isn't it funny how these rich people did not have to wear a mask, even though this is in California where there's a mask mandate? I mean, think about it. The elementary school kids have to wear a mask. They show up to school like this. But this is one of the things that the elitists, the leftists, the people who run the show try to show you. Is like rules for thee and not for me. We're not of that ilk of people who can walk around without masks. Think about it. Even Stacey Abrams took a picture with school children. I think she read to them or something and noticed something. But let's move on to Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has been one of the main driving forces behind the news media. While he was in office, media ratings were skyrocketing. But now, since he's been gone, it's been plummeting, and you see this with CNN, and the only thing they have keeping them afloat is sex scandals. But that's for another time. But we are starting to learn that Donald Trump was right about a lot of things. All the things that they claimed that he was a conspiracy theorist on, it turns out that it was true. It turns out that the news media happens to lie. It turns out that maybe the president of the United States has more information than the actual individuals who just are news correspondents. Like one in particular that we're talking about today is what happened with the spying of his campaign. When he made it clear, and when everybody could pretty much tell if you read just a little bit of evidence, that Hillary Clinton's campaign, or I'm not even going to say Hillary, well, maybe the DNC was spying on Donald Trump's campaign. It turns out he was right. And if the news media tries to deny this, remember that Donald Trump went on 60 Minutes with Leslie Shaw, I believe her name is, just 2 years ago and had a little exchange.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no
Leslie.
real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't
No,
verify.
you won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
Yeah, like y'all can actually verify all the lies that y'all ran for the last 5-6 years.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit
No, you're
that
the
the
puppet.
Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people, that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list, break up NATO, do whatever he wants to do, and that you continue to get help from him because he has a very clear favorite in this race.
This whole Donald Trump situation just pretty much shows how much the news media lies. And it doesn't matter who you are. Even the president of the United States is susceptible to what they want to do and how they move the narrative for their own will to control the people. And the news media continues its lies with this one specific movement that's going on in Canada right now, where truckers, 45-foot long caravan of 18-wheelers, big rigs, are making their way to the Capitol. And right now they're in Ottawa and they're being blocked off by the Canadian government. And it's scaring people because, one, they do not know where these people came from, because this is a grassroots event. And that's one thing that you should pay attention to if you're trying to actually do the right thing and put together a strong protest. Make it grassroots. But this is one from individual truckers who came together and is just tired of mass mandates, tired of the tyranny that the Canadian government is pushing. And now the news media is helping the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, push this narrative.
Small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians.
And that was one of the first statements that he's made. And it's kind of scary that he sounds like a dictator. He actually sounds like the dude from 1984 who controlled the people. He is making it seem like if you go against the narrative of the state, you're an enemy of the state, which is kind of dangerous, and it's dictator-like, and it's kind of fascist. He should probably be removed. But he still has a lot of adversity against this because people are not believing this, and lo and behold, everybody is upset with the mass mandates. So now he comes out and does the next thing that the news media and the people on the left and the elitists always try to do. They try to make it a thing about race.
Des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination,
Ils sont extrémistes.
qui croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère?
Did you hear that? He used the words racism and misogyny. That means it's serious, and we should really hate these truck drivers who are not doing anything racist or misogynist. They only use these words to get an emotional response from people. It was the same thing they did to Joe Rogan when they couldn't beat him, when they tried to use COVID against him, when he came out and told them people that the media was lying the whole time. But now they tried to use the compilation with him using the N-word taken completely out of context to beat him, because they need to use racism to get an emotional response. They need emotions, because with emotions, you're not thinking logically. And it's a terrible thing, because they're not only stopping there, but they're using tactics like stopping their fundraiser accounts on the internet by trying to make it illegal to support these people by sending them money or sending them gas or food. Even trying to attack the kids, saying that it's child neglect if those truck drivers have their kids out there and they're being abusive. Like, it's kind of terrible. Like, not even kind of terrible. These people are evil. And it's only because these truck drivers are getting support from the people, because people are sick and tired of COVID. I mean, at least I know I am. And you should be too. I was going to donate to the GoFundMe, but I heard that the GoFundMe was shut down. And then they had a new campaign on a new site called Gifts and Go. But now it seems like the Canadian government wants to be involved in that one as well, when the Deputy Prime Minister came out and said that the laws will be changed arbitrarily just to fit this specific situation.
First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act.
So we're arbitrarily changing rules and laws and definitions of words just to make people seem more criminal. The same way that the news media did to the people who protested during January 6th and were called rioters and insurrectionists, which are none of the charges that these people are given. Know this, these truck drivers are just protesting peacefully because they do not want to be forced to take a COVID vaccine in order for them to live their lives and make money. They just don't want the government telling them what to do. But I want to know what you think. Do you still believe in the news media lies? Do you believe in the elitist hypocrisy? Do you think that they should have it a certain way? You should have it different. Me personally, I don't. I don't like the lies they've been telling, and they've been telling for the longest, especially when they've just been trying to thrive on people's emotion the whole time. A lot of people have been hurt and people have been killed because of terms like racism, misogyny. And a lot of people are just sick and tired of COVID. Are you tired of COVID? Because me personally, I am. But y'all do the YouTube thing and subscribe to the channel, to the Rumble channel too, Royal Family Studios. Yeah, like the video, comment down below. Tell me what you think. I want to know. And yeah, they spied on the president. Is that kind of scary? It is for me. Y'all stay up. Do your own research. Oh yeah, and also tell me, do you want me to keep talking about hip hop news? I mean, personally, I don't want to do it because I'm still waiting for Meg Thee Stallion to come out and tell the truth about what happened that night with Tory Lanez, because he didn't do it. That's all I got for you. Y'all stay up.